Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Fewer people are dying from Canada's #1 killer. The Canadian Cancer Society released its 2012 report, and it shows a positive trend in the fight against disease. And that trend essentially is that fewer people are dying from the major cancers. But still, cancer is a big deal in this country. As I said before the break, almost 200,000 people will be diagnosed with cancer this year, and it'll take over 70,000 lives. So let's talk about this study from the Canadian Cancer Society with CBC medical specialist Dr. Karl Kabasele. Welcome news. Do you think it's, are we overjoyed for all the, not the wrong reasons, but does it represent as big of a portion of good news as we have been led to believe?
You know, I think this is good news. The fact that rates are going down, I think, is a testament to a lot of things. Death rates, correct. Yeah. Is a testament to, better screening, better treatment, but greater awareness in general, and I think progress in the in our efforts against cancer. But you're right, we can't rest on our laurels and say we're done, because there's a lot more to be done.
So maybe this speaks to the management of the disease. We're managing the disease okay. What's striking is that, nearly 200,000 people going to be diagnosed with it. I mean, are the rates of getting cancer going up? What's going on in terms of the country? I mean, do we need to really take a look at why we're putting millions of dollars into this disease and people are still getting it at an alarming rate?
Well, you raise a good point. So we talk about treatment and we talk about screening, and this is all very good for those people who already unfortunately have the disease. Where the power rests, and I think where we could do so much more, is in the prevention of the disease. And you're right, what understanding we do have of cancer, a lot of what we can do to lower those numbers of incidence of people getting it in the first place involves simple lifestyle changes. Smoking. In this report, they talk about how smoking contributes to, almost a third of all the cancer deaths that we're seeing. If we could get our smoking rates under control, and they are going down, and that's good, but we got to keep working on that. Excess alcohol, physical inactivity, obesity. Skin cancer is very common, in terms of cancer deaths and so on. We got to stop lying out in the sun. We got to stop going to these tanning salons, It's within our grasp. It's within our power. We just need to keep encouraging the public to do more for themselves.
Yeah. What about diet? What role does diet play in preventing cancer?
Well, that's an emerging, evolving area, if you will. What we do know is plenty of fruits and vegetables in your diet is a helpful thing. It tends to be associated with lower incidence rates
of cancer. Eating big portions of meat.
Exactly, that's right. So the consumption of red meat has been linked with heart disease, cancer, a number of things. Not to say that you should cut it out completely, but there seems to be a link. Now,
although some people believe that.
And some people do. Yeah. Some people go vegetarian or vegan, and that can be a very healthy choice. I think it's too soon in the evolution of food science to say definitively, meat is completely bad, we shouldn't be consuming it. But what we can say is these are the associations between certain foods and your risk of cancer, and I think we need to pay attention to that. Okay,
what about the gender gap? Is there a gender divide in terms of cancer rates?
Well, in terms of the deaths in this report, what they point out is that, between I just want to get this right, 1988 and 2007, there was a 21% drop in death rates from cancer for men, only a 9% drop in women. And what they believe is responsible for that gap is the fact that smoking trends have been quite different between men and women, just because of social trends and so on. So that from around the 1960s, the smoking rates for men have been on the decline. The number of men who actually smoke is going down. For women, because they were sort of catching up and starting to smoke later than men did, because it was acceptable, etc. It was only in the 80s that you started to see the decline. So the unfortunate thing about smoking is the disease tends to lag behind by 20, 30 years. So we're only going to see the benefits in the coming years of that decline.
The other problematic part, not of the study itself, but what the study had to say, is that there are rare cancers that are now making a resurgence in society. More people are getting some of these so-called rare cancers.
That's right. So cancers like, liver and kidney cancer, they seem to be going up. Now, they're rare, so obviously when we talk about sort of lung cancer, colon, breast, and prostate, those tend to be they cause the majority of disease deaths. But some of these rare cancers, of course, are significant too. And a lot of that, again, is linked to lifestyle. So the belief is that obesity, things like getting hepatitis B and C, which can increase your risk of liver cancer, all of these things are contributing. So again, we need to do more on the prevention side to address these things.
And to really understand, because it seems like if you say, well, this particular thing may cause cancer, there's a whole lobby group behind it to say, no, it doesn't. Where's the study? Or we have a conflicting study. So it becomes very confusing to actually, pin down what the causes might be.
You raise an excellent point. And I think on our end here in the media, we have to be careful about how we report these studies. Because one week, this food causes cancer. The next week, it actually protects you. It doesn't do us any favors to focus on these individual studies, without the context of everything else we know. And that's why we have expert panels that get together, look at all of the evidence, weigh it up, and then give advice. So, I don't think it really pays to go to the internet and try to figure out what you should eat, what you shouldn't. Talk to your doctor, read, educate yourself about the broad evidence, if you will, and do the simple things. Go out for a walk.
Eat well.
Eat well, don't smoke, don't go out in the sun. These are the small things we can do, but they can make a huge difference.
And you know what? That's why we have you. We rely on you to give us all this great advice. Dr. Karl Kabasele, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.